So we have more lightning talks than yesterday, so we're going to be faster. We are going to start with Surav, introducing FireDucks.
If you don't come in 10 seconds, then we will disqualify you for the lightning talk.
Yeah, and on deck just after we have Atman.
No, actually, if you are you have submitted a lightning talk, just come to the front, so we won't disqualify you if you if we can't find you or anything.
And so go ahead, can plug in. And if you want to make jokes when the speakers are changing, feel free to come to the front, and we give you the mic, and you can make your joke. We also had a couple of questions about sprints tomorrow. You don't have to code, you don't have to know how to code, you don't have to have already contributed to a project to come to the sprints. If you want to come to just discuss about the Python ecosystem and science for the sprints, feel free to come.
Or if you have a question about using any of the libraries, we have a lot of maintainers here, so you can ask them questions, like why it doesn't work or things like that.
And can we get the slides on the big screen?
So 3 minutes, right?
We'll try to do 2:30 if we can, because we have a lot of people to go through.
Okay, perfect.
But you submitted yesterday, so we will give you 3 minutes.
Perfect.
Do you have a? Oh, let's go.
So, hello everyone. My name is Saurav. So it's 26 September, Thursday, and we're at PyData Paris presenting my talk on the library that we have developed. So to start with, since I don't have much time, so let's make it brief. So although I had a talk with a couple of you who came to a booth, but let's make it here now. So this is the usual data flow that we usually do at a day-to-day work. Like we do collect the data from different sources, then do prepare the data, and do create the models, deploy it, and iterate the cycle if we don't have a better model. But as per the research, that said that the data preparation is something that takes a lot of the time, and we have many alternatives here. So pandas being one of the most popular library. So to come with that, so actually it started before 3.5 years ago. So when at NEC we have an application, that application was to run on a cloud, and it used to take 3.5 hours for a daily, to execute on a daily basis. So the end of the month, we need to pay a lot of cloud cost. So that is the time when we thought of, okay, let's optimize it. And once that optimization done, it was 3 hours to 10 minutes. So that is the time we thought of create a library which can automate it for you, whoever is using pandas happily. So basically, there are two basic problems with pandas. One, it's single-threaded. Secondly, there are a lot of ways by which you can write a pandas program. And ideally, the way you write a pandas program, that matters a lot to the performance. So that is where instead of migrating to some new library, or probably to migrate to a new hardware or something, if you like to use pandas happily without just paying some hardware cost, probably you have a solution that is developed at a lab. So the name is FireDucks. What is that and how it can offer you? Probably I will be explaining it upon slides. So first of all, the name comes from fire becomes a flexible IR, which is intermediate representation. So flexible IR engine for data frame. So it's a high-performance alternative for pandas. First of all, it has a compiler that, first of all, it's not a pandas wrapper. It has a pandas API, that is why we make it compatible. But it is lazy by nature. It do a lot of optimization during the execution, and it is multi-threaded. So because it is lazy, it does JIT compilation and multi-threaded. It can do a lightning-first data analysis for you. If you're running on the cloud, like we did, you could reduce a lot of cloud cost. It could be better for the eco-friendly because it is going to attribute less number of carbon dioxide. The most important is that if you are from pandas background, you don't need to learn anything new. So not only pandas compatible with all the libraries, scikit-learn, panda, matplotlib, whatever library you might be working with, it can seamlessly integrate with that without any problem. So how it works, to be very short, I have a couple of more seconds, okay. So how it works, for example, you pass a pandas program, it tries to create some instruction out of it. For example, here it's sorting, it's filtering, it's projecting, it's slicing. So then when the execution is needed, that for example, if you need the result using a print statement or something, it tries to figure out, okay, so 7. Anyhow, so just to give it a shot, some import statement, some benchmark, probably you can see it over the homepage that we have, and nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next.
For our speaker who come from Japan, after ducks, we have cats, AI and robustness and cats. Who's that? Are you there? If it's AI, robustness and cats, yes, come in. And just after...
Some people don't put their name on the card.
Yes.
It's very hard to find you.
And just after that, it's going to be, since you ask, how can I help PyLadies? And so as soon as the 2 minutes 30 are over, you can directly come on stage and push your previous speaker out.
Okay.
Any jokes on
Are you ready?
rubber duck
Please get the
debugging
screen, please.
and fire ducks?
Please,
I don't know.
Please.
This duck is on fire.
Okay.
Go.
So, hello everyone. So I think those days a lot of people talk about LLMs, so this is maybe cool. But this is just a part of Gen AI, which is even better, which itself is actually a tiny part of what we can do in AI, which itself is just a tiny part of the universe of all cool and fun stuff that we can do in programming, in Python programming. So let's play a game, a quick game. Who in the audience thinks this is a panda? So please, raise hands. Nice. So humans win, and ResNet, which is like a very powerful classification model trained by Microsoft to recognize pandas among others, fail. The model thinks that this is a tennis ball, and it's confident like 99%. How is this possible? Because actually I fooled it. And how we can do this, it's actually very simple. So hard to explain in all the details in 1 minute, but let's just give the main idea. If we want to try to train a model, we just solve an optimization problem. We adjust the parameters of the model to make the loss minimal. But if we want to fool the model, we just do something very similar. We adjust the input parameter to make the loss maximal. And this is made possible thanks to automated differentiation. So yeah, I have a notebook on this, so please come talk to me later if you want to see the notebook. And it's something not very new. Actually, you can find this on the internet. But it's very, very cool and fun. And we can do even more than this. We can manipulate the model, not just fooling it. We can choose a given target and make the model predict this given target. And this is actually, it started by just an attack, and it gave birth to a very nice technology called GANs. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mojde, you can come up
Next. It's like, the audition, you're just like, next.
On deck, we will have Isaki Rodke, PyCafe, create and share Python UI app easily. Do you know the age of a younger attendee to this year? Any guess?
Is it a, what?
9 months. We have a nursery for parents who want to come. So next year or so, we probably have a nursery. So if you have children and you think you cannot come, we would be happy to provide a babysitter for you to be able to participate to those conferences to help any kind of parents. And let's go with Mojde and PyLadies.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. So you probably have seen the booth. If you are not a member of PyLadies is a global organization. We have 219 chapters all over the world. And you can also actually join PyLadies, joining the Slack. Is a community, inclusive community, and for ladies and friends. And yeah, so please join. It's very fun. It's very cool. So what I want to talk to you, actually, I'm from PyData Paris. We are running PyData Paris with Chiara, which is also organizing PyData conference, and Maria, which cannot be here today. And I would like, because a lot of you came and said that, hey, you are very cool. How can we help you? So We are looking for sponsors for goodies, stickers, sponsors that can host us. So if you're from company and you would like to host, please come and reach out. We are always, if you want to give a talk, yeah, please come and reach out. And for instance, one thing that we need is actually license for streaming our event. So again, if you have it, if you want to help, don't hesitate to talk to us. And we will really appreciate your help. So think about that. And here are different ways that you can join PyLadies, especially PyLadies Paris. You can join on the Slack. You can follow us on Twitter, on YouTube, and also our Meetup channel. We have over 600 members, so we are happy about that. And last but not least, I want to give thank you to other PyLadies members that have been here from London, from Hamburg, from Berlin, and so thank you.
Also, we have PyLadies Conf in December. It's online. You can join it anywhere. Woo! Okay, we set up.
And on deck, we have Human Brain Meeting. You were not there yesterday. Are you here today? 1, 2, 3. So no, not here. So then on deck, detecting beard in C channel using listening data. Are you there? No?
Bonsoir, Madame, Monsieur. This is Aditya, and I talk to you about programming for everyday use. Why not? Yeah, just a small brief about myself. I come from India, but I stay in Helsinki. And I need some active volunteers along the way in these 3 minutes. So, what kind of everyday use? Well, I'm thinking, let me see what I do at work. And at work, I've recently been plotting C channels from geodata in raw format using Python libraries called Shapely and GeoPandas. And it looks something like this when the plot is out there and we try to detect bends in C channels. So what can I do from this to help me make everyday use programming for everyday life? I am thinking, and then I think, why not show our holiday plans on a map? That should be possible using GeoPandas. So I think let's look at some possible building blocks for those. And we have at least 3 building blocks in random order. Finding a background map, finding city coordinates, plotting the route. Anyone wants to volunteer and suggest the flow between these 3? Anyone with no knowledge of GeoPandas, but still kind of a basic logical flow to these 3 points? Yeah, do you want to, Maria? Well, you just like kind of make the, I put up a very simple flow chart with getting the longitude and latitude of the cities and putting it into a geodata frame. Geodata frame is, by the way, something in GeoPandas. Then getting the background Earth, and then plotting the geodata frame with the cities and connecting the cities. As simple as that. And then if we want a live demo, I can quickly just show in 5 seconds. Shall I? In 5 seconds? Well, it opens up to a map.
Woo! Yay, thank you.
Come to the sprint tomorrow. Aditya,
Merci beaucoup.
are you here? No?
Next.
Sorry, that
Oh, that was you.
5,
Okay. So
4.
Tamra, after. With your generative language model and linguistic uniformity.
Great, amazing. Hi, everybody. If you saw my talk yesterday, I talked about Solara, but now I'm going to take my biggest Solara fan hat off and put a biggest PyCafe fan hat on. So we've built this platform, and let's see in the audience, can I get a show of hands, how many of you use some sort of UI framework in Python? Okay, well, hopefully you'll find this useful. Here are the frameworks that we support currently. We're hoping to bring in Gradio as well. And please vote for the next one. Something Jupyter related, we're thinking, seems to be popular with people here. Let me demonstrate what we do on this platform. So going here, opening a project, we're loading in Python on top of Pyodide, and we can do a full interactive app that just works in your browser. I could send this link to any of you, and you could open it, you could directly view the app, you could use it, you could do anything you want with it. I can maybe demonstrate with my remaining time another one. This one takes maybe a bit longer to load, or not that much. Anyway, here we're using panel, and we've got live dashboarding. So if you've ever had trouble sharing your dashboards, sharing your apps with other people, here's a platform for you. If you find bugs in UI frameworks, I mean, write it here, immediately shareable, and it's immediately reproducible. And that's all I had for you. Thanks.
Okay, so while Tamara is setting up for efficiency, we'll have someone who will just talk on the mic with ADHD superpowers. Mari, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, and sorry for hijacking the discussion. Yes, so hi all the neurodivergent people here. Hello, and neurotypical. The thing I wanted to talk with you briefly about today is how ADHD can be your superpower, and how it can make you be happy with yourself. So first of all, ADHD in women is a bit different. Just as Chuck was mentioning yesterday, the ADHD was usually researched on boys, and the boys are behaving very expressively, whereas in girls, it's rather small things that they are doing, like fiddling with with fingers or with your ring, or they are more inwards,
So it's here.
like they're expressing their emotions more inwards than outwards. That is why they are underdiagnosed. But if they do, and if they understand what's going on, and that the brain is working a bit differently, they can embrace this difference. And I gathered few, I'm sorry, I don't have slides, because this time I didn't prepare beautiful slides, but I wanted to go through those few superpowers. So first is a bit of a paradox, but organizational skills, because if you have a lousy short-term memory, you have to write all the things down, because otherwise you will forget, and people will be very angry with you. That is why it actually helps when you work in a team, because you write everything down, and everyone can go back to whatever you wrote. Another thing is matching the dots in a creative way, because you do not only the Markovian jumps between points, but the jump that are with long tails, so you can jump in places, in ideas that are not so close to each other. And another superpower is hyperfocus, which is a super boost. On top of that, my colleagues also mentioned several superpowers, and usually ADHD people have over 1,000 hobbies. And yeah, I don't know, I ride motorcycle, needs, do data science, I don't know, whatever, play D&D at some point, or Baldur's Gate. So yes, I'm finishing. This helps you communicate with other people, because they know different things, and you have a common ground with a lot of people. And just to finish with, being conscious about yourself and how you express yourself is also being conscious about other people, and you accept they can be different and they can have different challenges and their brain can work differently. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And on deck, we will have sharing is caring, the AnyWidget AFM specification. And let's go directly with Tamara.
So hello, my name is Tamara, and I work as a software engineer, but I'm here to talk to you about my forever favorite topic, which is language, and not a very specific language, but the phenomenon of language. And so I would like to start with having a thought about, if I were to ask you, how would you describe the way you speak and write English unassisted, without AI or other tools, even like Grammarly or something else? How many of you would say something like, oh, it's charming? Or how many of you would say, my English could be better? Or how about some would even maybe describe it as crude or maybe even unprofessional when it's unassisted? And I would like you to ask you another question, which I would actually ask you to raise your hand. Do you think that using generative models to paraphrase or Grammarly-like tools make you sound more professional? Do they? Yeah, yes. Yes, well, yes, we can certainly say that these kinds of tools bring you closer to expressing yourself in what is considered correct, professional, and standard English. And that's exactly what I want to talk about. So what is correct, professional, standard English? And who decides what this language is? Who gets to decide what context is professional first? And who gets to decide which grammar structure or vocabulary enable one to be heard, to be respected, and open doors for employment? And which vocabulary and grammar structures then lead to discrimination, devaluation, and exclusion? And who gets to learn this correct standard English, and how? I would like to introduce you to some terms now, specifically to the term language ideology, or more specifically to a specific one of the ideologies, which is the standard language ideology. Now, language ideologies describe relations of power within language, or language as a ground for establishing power. And so, let's ask, who gets to decide within this framework? Who decides about the questions that we already asked? Oops, sorry. I don't get to see it here. So the question is, the answer is that power decides. Power decides what is considered professional. Power decides what is the language that we use in professional sense. Power decides who gets to see open doors by the way they express and talk. And power decides eventually about what is the standard English. And now let's think, I'm gonna be really short. Let's think about what kind of data the LLMs are trained on, and who has access to the internet, the time and resources to write and create, and whose voice is made the standard. And so, can I read my last point? So my last point is that while we allow the generation to, we paraphrase our CVs, we paraphrase our blog posts, our LinkedIn posts, we are kind of replacing our unique voice with generated LLM outputs, and that contributes to linguistic uniformity and reinforces global and local power structures. And I don't advocate for boycott, but mindful usage about why you use it for.
Okay, so sharing is caring, and on deck we will have, it's okay, Guillaume Desforges, Python Flow, generic lazy evaluation for workflow, if you're there. Okay.
Start.
So
sorry.
on your screen?
Come on.
It's going to appear here, and then it's going to appear there.
Okay.
And as someone who started learning Japanese not so long ago, and it's good, so let's go ahead.
Okay.
So the title is Sharing is Caring. Can you hear me? Great, thanks. So I'm Mark. At my work, I work for Ørsted, a great company. I head up a small team called Trading AI. In my private life, I work with data app frameworks, and especially with Panel. That's my passion. I'm here to talk about sharing. That's the way I think about open source. Yesterday we had this awesome talk by Marco Gorelli, about polars, and he created user-defined functions. But now I'm actually a pandas user, and I cannot use that function. We cannot share that function easily. That's a problem that we have in open source a lot. But I would like you to point to a solution in the space that I care a lot about, especially in data app frameworks. Like if you're a Streamlit user, for example, you might have seen some cool widget in another framework that you would like to be using. But it takes a long time to develop those kinds of widgets. But now there is a proposed standard, the AnyWidget front-end module, proposed by Trevor Mance, that I would like to highlight. So if you are a user of one of these data app frameworks, please tell these data app frameworks to consider using this standard for sharing widgets across frameworks. And if you're a developer, please consider learning this standard and start using it. Because it means that now any widgets are no longer just for Jupyter. They are also for other things, for example, Marimo notebooks or for Panel, and maybe one day in the future they could be used for Streamlit and other frameworks. And that's my point, that we now have this specification that people can use for sharing. And this is just an example. Until recently, this carbon plan maps widget was only for Jupyter ecosystem, but now it's actually a panel widget as well. And that's all I have to say. So thanks.
And after the case for optimism by Jan, and shout yes if you're here so that you know you're here. It's here, right? Okay, good.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Where is it?
Okay, so it's going.
Where's the sound?
It's going to appear
Yeah.
here. And
We do have technician. It's not AI. It's fine.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
that's good.
Everybody can hear me? Okay, cool. I did it once. I'm going to do it twice today. PyData today. Are we having fun?
Yay!
Thank you very much. So my name is Guillaume, and I love Python, but I think that some people went the wrong way for decades. That's the case for workflow. I think I'm right. Everybody's wrong. So why so? Yeah, provocative thoughts today. So this is Airflow code you typically have. You declare a DAG, you declare the task, like functions, and then you try to put them together, and it's really clunky because you mix together the information about the DAG, the information about the task, and it's really hard to deal with in development, testing, production, right? Maybe you've already had these pains. And I think it comes to the fact that we are putting together the implementation and the idea of a workflow together. What we really want to have is to have functions that we can compose together and a workflow that is the description of how we put things together. But the reality is that for a long time, Python didn't really have much of the capabilities that we have today. And so now we have the tools to rethink about workflows. So if anyone has ever used Pulumi there, you know that you can define resources. And as inputs to one resource, you can use the output of another resource that you know is going to happen. It's like lazy evaluation. Once the resource will be created, you will be able to get its ID, name, whatever. And you can use that as an input to some other thing that's going to be built. This is the same with workflows. Why not have this kind of API where you have, you can map values that are going to be the output of a task and put that as input to the next task. And also to make things very composable, the idea, and I have here the example here. So the idea is that you describe a workflow as a data structure. It doesn't have any implementation inside. The implementation are going to be interpreters that you then dispatch. And you put that little sequential runner. And please check out this.
Right on time. Okay, next one. Woo!
Make your something AutoML algorithm something. Summary merge from Centrion. Are you there?
Can you explain what is the something when you come on stage?
Yeah, I just can't read.
Yeah.
And here you probably need mirroring, I think.
So now do I do that?
You need to do mirroring if you
Mirror,
want.
yeah,
to
the
that.
display.
Or you do as a
Or you
second
drag it
screen.
over, then you
Competent
like you
in,
look at
Apple.
that screen instead.
So how do I do that?
So you need to do
Oh.
jokes, and I'm going to do the.
Oh, I do the jokes. Okay, so who know like what's the Python 3.14 is gonna call? Pie. Okay, right.
Thank you.
There you go, and now you can do slideshow.
Yes. All right. Hey, everyone. That's this. Yes, lovely. So basically, I want to make a short talk about something that I've been talking with a lot of people about. So I grew up in Romania, and in Romania, I heard a lot of old people talking about how better the situation was in the country years ago, and also went on the internet, and I talked about, hey, the world was so much better in the past. Now everything's going to shit. So I was like, wait, let's actually look into the data for a second. We're data scientists and all that. So first of all, obviously, everything here was done in like 10 minutes, so obviously not everything is applicable, but nevertheless, I try to be as general as possible. And that is all the Romanian people telling me that the world was better in the past. So let's go straight to the data. First and foremost, I looked into how many people, the percentage of people who are very, very, very poor in the past and how it evolved in the future. How it evolved right now up until the present. And as we can see, the world has been getting so much better in the last 100 years. I stopped in around 2018 because I didn't find any better data for this, but it's the idea is the same. The same idea happened for child mortality. Here we can see that up until 2022, it's been going down steadily. We still have a lot of things to do, but we're doing much better. And even if we're looking to maybe for CO2 emissions, we managed the past tens of years to decouple CO2 emissions with the GDP, which means that we are getting richer while at the same time not producing as much GDP per capita in the past. And maybe, hopefully, we can even lower this number. And since a lot of people are thinking that we're moving too slow, it is actually very true, but at the same time, we need to still be a bit hopeful, because look at this. This is just a graph showing that with the predictions of the evolution of the solar panels, but at the same time, the actual evolution of solar panels. We destroyed every prediction necessary by far. We outgrew solar panels, and we are still doing that constantly, which is extremely goddamn cool. I'd say it's one of the best things I've ever seen. Now, I myself, I'm more into nuclear, but nevertheless, solar is extremely fucking cool. I also wanted to look into the wonders, because everyone said about, look at how much better the buildings were and how many things we used to do in the past. This is the wonder that we used to do, we consider the wonder in the ancient times. But then, if you look into the wonders now, and the next one, and the next one, this is also ChatGPT. The last thing I want to say is that I saw a crisis in pessimism. And I wanted to fight it a bit with data to see that you can be optimist and to accelerate and to build, because we need more builders. That's it.
Hey, what's the next one?
On deck, Ricardo, retrieve, merge, and predict. Okay, so we need to find a joke. We need to fill in.
Quick.
Good. It works.
That's the screen, right? Okay, cool.
No jokes.
Yeah. Yes. What I wanted to talk about is AutoML. Does everyone know what AutoML is? Yes. Do you use it? AutoML it's like just a family of models that don't need hyperparameter tuning. As a data scientist, we spend, I think, too much time on tuning parameters and wasting time on this. So I think every one of us should find a way to make their own AutoML. Maybe you can build your own benchmark. And even if you, luckily, you find a parameter that fits your model, you high-five the team and you deploy it, and something creeps on you, something called the data drift. And you're starting all over again. So you need something more robust. My contention, my idea that I'm trying to push here, it's quite simple. Optional, the parameter tuning algorithm that we use it offline. What I'm trying to say is you can use it on the model and push it to the user. So you make your models more robust. The idea is quite simple. if you extend scikit-learn with the base estimator and regression mixin, you can make it look like you are building a new model from scikit-learn. So all you have to do is create a predict and a fit and a predict. In the fit, what you do is you define the models, the parameters that you want to tune, and you choose all the models you want, specific to your use case. You launch the experiment, you collect the best parameters, you feed the data on the whole set, and now you have a model that's specific to the data that you received. No more data drift. And when someone wants to consume the model, you give him the predict, and it's all over. Voilà, predict. Thank you.
Thank you. And on deck, we'll have Romain Clément bringing a MacBook Pro from the dead. So he's just here. So we'll see if we have some zombie processes and things like that. He's happy, he's smiling.
But I hope his MacBook Pro is not dead when he comes on stage.
Do we need to do a pentagram on the... Yeah.
Oh, it's not mirrored. Oh. What? Okay. Well, I don't have any more jokes, but...
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me? Hopefully. Okay, so this is a paper that I've been working on. All the detail is in the project repo, and the QR code is on all the slides, so no need to hurry up now. So what is this? Basically, we are trying to answer a question. So there is Alice in the bottom left. She has a table. She would like to add more information to this table to train some kind of machine learning model on. She has access to the internet, so hundreds of millions of tables. How can she select which is the tables that she really wants? One possible way of doing this is with this very simple metric, which is called Jacquard containment, and it's basically answering the question, if I join Q and X, how many rows of X do I find in Q? Basically, if you're doing a join, the higher this value is, then the better it is, the more information you get for your model. So I was trying to use some of those hundreds of millions of tables on the internet, but cleaning open data is a pain because CSV files don't use commas, CSV files don't have schemas, CSV files sometimes are JSON files. JSON files sometimes are strings in disguise. So I said, I'm going to make my own because if you don't know the tables, everyone is sus. So I decided to build my own data lake. I used a lot of polars for this, and I started from Iago. Basically, imagine you have 100 million lines, say something like Paris is located in France, Rome is located in Italy. But these don't look like tables, so I turned them into tables. And then, since they didn't really look like tables again, I turned into more tables with some more polars. I ended up having 50,000 of them for 30 gigabytes of space in Parquet for obvious reasons. I have already said about CSV. And then I played around with that. And basically what I ended up finding out was, OK, we need to find the tables. We need to select which are the tables that we want to use. And it is that if you select the best ones, then the model that you're going to train is going to be better because you have better information that is coming in. And I used scikit-learn, polars, and catboost for all of that. I have this very fancy picture that is just telling you, OK, the simpler methods apparently are better than all the other methods, at least for the kind of budget of time that we were working with. And catboost is extremely effective. In fact, I need to debug within my code because it's way too good. Anyways, the takeaways for this are that pre-processing Spain, so we made our data, which is also publicly available. If you ever need a data lake, you can just go to the repository and get it from there. Getting good candidates is what actually matters. And if you have a good containment is a good indicator, what is not good enough. And that's it.
It's tables all the way down. You know the SQL requests that walk into a bar and see two tables in the back and say, can I join you? Next on deck, we have the future of work by Charaf. Are you here? You already spoke yesterday.
Okay.
Nicola, chat extension for Jupyter. Are you here? Yes, okay, thank you. Thank you for saying, because we have big lights in our front face, so we don't see
come
you.
to the front, because like, you know, if you don't get on stage within like 3 seconds, we would disqualify.
So now we're going to light some candles and do some weird incantation like we do usually on our terminals.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So hi everyone, I'm Romain. Today I'd like to talk about my dear friend, the MacBook Pro here from 2015, which I brought back from the dead. So no zombies today, but still. So this has been my daily driver since 2017, but unfortunately some bad thermal management happened, some inflated battery happened, and lately some keyboard failure, so I could not use this one anymore, and I don't want to spend $3,000 on a new laptop right now. So let's start with some easy repairment for this laptop. This is the talk Tim Cook should give you before you buy an Apple laptop. Okay, some thermal paste replacement, actually pretty easy. You can see the CPU die, you just have to clean it up, put the paste, and you go. Battery replacement, now you start to cry. So yeah, I fix it, gives you a kit. They give you protective glasses and gloves, put them on because isopropyl alcohol is really bad for your fingers. So you can start to peel off the glued battery to the case. And this took me an hour to remove the battery. And you have to put aluminum foil to protect your screen because you're going to damage it. And yes, why am I in the outside? Trying to extract a glued battery which is swollen, can explode actually. So I put a frying pan right beneath the table on the outside so my baby wouldn't be hurt in the house. So yeah, some more fun coming in. The keyboard replacement. So what can you do with a keyboard? So you have to remove every single piece of hardware in the case to remove the keyboard, except for the trackpad. But wait, to remove the protective plate of the trackpad, this is the only thing you're left to do. You need a Torx T3 screwdriver. Who has a Torx T3 screwdriver? My brother has not. My wife's coworkers do not. My neighbors do not on a Sunday evening. So you have to buy a new one. Yeah, thank you, Apple. And then you can start to remove the keyboard. You have to pull every strength you got. And actually, this is all pain and suffering, literally. I cut myself several times doing this. But then, yay, you got a blank case and you can put back a new keyboard in place. But one last thing. As Tim Cook says, you need tiny, teeny screws that you can find on some Chinese dealers on Amazon to replace the rivet that you pulled, everything replacing the keyboard. So I'm finishing up. You have the self-right to repair your hardware. Keep it up. This one is going to last for a few years.
Can you demonstrate that in the sprint tomorrow? I'm sorry? Can you demonstrate that in the sprint tomorrow?
No.
And I have a simpler question. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
So who want to have him demonstrate on your computer tomorrow, please come to the sprint.
And on deck, we have using AI agent to read the law of the French Parliament by Benoit. And last, we have Felipe Fernandez, the mini Python in Conda Forge, and then we will be done and we can do the closing remarks. And we can get things on screen, and that's it. It's going to be really big.
Let's do it.
I have some trouble with the...
Let's do it. We can see the notebook. Oh. Oh, now we can see the notebook.
Go back to mirroring and just do command minus to de-zoom.
You think so?
Can we just see?
So this is done?
Yep.
Yeah? No.
Can you zoom out? I don't know. It's again the year of the Linux desktop every year.
Oh no!
So never mind. So it was just to introduce a new chat, or you have? Okay.
Yeah, we can see it again.
A new chat extension for Jupyter Lab. So we will not see a lot on that screen, but there is a way now to create a chat. Yeah, it will be awful. So never mind. There is no example. Just you can find all the information on the GitHub repository. It's on Jupyter Chat under Jupyter Lab organization. And there is a docstring also to install it. So sorry for the display. And that's it.
See, that was a lightning talk, fast and just showing something that's great. Using AI agents here, and so to read the French Parliament, law of the French Parliament, so we can do pardon my French, I guess.
Are you presenting it in French?
Oui.
No, I could speak English. Oh, sorry.
Do you know how to say I don't know in French?
Yeah, it works. So, who do you think this is AI agent? Yeah, nobody. So, why we call longsmiths the tools to monitor AI agent? I will show you a little bit of what I do at the French Parliament. We are building a simulator, a tax simulator. Yes, we have to do something funny. And for this, we need about 2,000 parameters. Yes, because we are in France and we love taking law for tax and benefits. And so to maintain this database of parameters, I took the idea of using AI agents. And it's, well, it seems a little bit complicated, but it's just letting LLMs find by themselves everything you need. So you just have to explain your task. And so AI agent is not a prompt. And you give him the tools, and I just gave him the abilities to search on the web, to read web pages, and to check if everything is fine. And if the agent don't find, it just iterate. And so you just have to set a limit for this. And so it's just a prompt. You explain to the agent his task, and on the right you could see that you ask him, you tell him he could go to Google, and it's your task to do the Google search and send it back to the agent. And we use LangChat to LangGraph, sorry, to do it. And LangGraph look like this. It's it's just a Python code, but with Longsmith you could look at what your agent is doing. And it's quite interesting to look at this, because sometimes you see that the agent just congratulates each other to say, oh, thank you for helping me on this. It's quite funny. And so if you want more information, I just write an article about it, and you can scan the QR code, and thank you for listening.
And Philippe, my one fear if we train an AI model on French people is that it will just go on strike. Like, you know, it's 5 p.m. The language model is just like, nope, I'm going home.
What did I do?
What have you done?
It's on strike.
Yeah, well.
Thank you to all the folks behind the...
Thank you, yeah, we...
They are actually listening to us, like the government.
All right, if I do...
We can see it, it's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So, I was trying to be really, really fast to give other people time, but since I'm the last one, I'm going to drag this. Just an icebreaker before we start. Everybody asks you what's your favorite color, your favorite food, or even your favorite dinosaur. But nobody asks what's your favorite French mathematician. Anyone? Yeah, mine is Henri du Châtelet. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But you know why? She reminds me a lot about our community. She's recognized mostly for translating and documenting other people's work, like Newton's Principia. But if you read that as just another woman doing documentation for your software, you're very wrong. She fixed a lot of the problems. Newton's Principia was actually very flawed. She wrote one of the conservation laws for kinetic energy. And, you know, that's why I kind of like her. She kind of reminds of our community and how unfair we are. Sorry. Okay, the many Pythons in CondaForge, or there was a Python for almost everyone. Are you a tech archaeologist? We got you covered. You can install Python from 1 to 2.6. Maybe you want support and reliability, right? So you want to install Python 2.7, the best Python ever. Nah, just kidding. You can install 3.9 up to 3.12, right? With Mamba, if that tickles your fancy. By the way, because I don't have a lot of time, I'm not doing all my cheese jokes. Sorry about that. And also, I cannot pronounce all those names. But every cheese family here has a relation to a package, and I'll leave that as an exercise to you. But you're not only, oh my God, I have that thing over there hiding my titles. That's fine. So you're not only a Pythonista, you're also a fashionista. We're in Paris, after all. So you want the very latest Python. You can micro-mamba Python 3.13 right now on your computers. Okay, what did I do? Oh. But you want really the creme de la creme, not only the latest Python. You can insert your conda Python here and install the free thread in Python. We also have debug builds. We also have Git-aware builds. And I said almost. If your Python is not there, please join us. Conda4 is a community. We need you. You can collaborate with us and make it better. And that's all I had.
Thank you.
Is that it?
I think that's it. There are actually no bots on Conda4.